going on here on stage and elsewhere as well. So I'm here to bring you almost the top 8. In our winner's side of the bracket, it is Dabuz, Nido Sharp, Cosmos, and Jackal. Obviously, we saw some of those matches up here, and we're going to see more from those players. Then on the loser side of the bracket, Ling and Pelka have made it into the top 8. And then for our other games, they're still going on. So it's going to be the winner of Blitz Luigi versus Unleashed, and then Archangel versus Nuggets. So that's what we have for you guys now. We're going to get another match going here shortly. Commentators, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Rainessa, for introducing everybody, and also us. Welcome back, everybody, to the PAX East Arena here in 2023. It is Almost Pro 10K edition, and some people have already started to make some of that money. That name was listed off, and it's a roulette of great people, including who I'm now joined by now. Come on, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. It's Saturday at PAX, which means it is absolutely bustling here in the venue. Not just all around the convention center, but particularly here at PAX Arena. We're going to get the top 8. Can I get some noise from the crowd? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. That one was louder than before. You like to see it. It's been livening up as the day has been going on. Everybody's been filling the seats, and it's a lot of the people also making sure to get the last-minute pins while we're rotating between as well. There's still a couple days still to go. And shout-outs to some brand representation. So the crowd cam from DoorDash, of course, letting everybody see everyone in the building. And we also get to talk about some of the people, by the way, from this tournament who are walking away with a little bit of money. Everyone in 9th place. So Kiwi, Troya, and then those other two are still being determined. We'll get $350, but it continues to rise as each individual round goes. Ling and Pelka, two of the strongest players we have from this region. This is a very common matchup we will see in the first half of the loser side. Bring back Ash. Bring back Ash. That's all I have to say. Now, I'm actually looking forward to Horizons too.
He's right there. What are you talking about? Ash is literally sitting right there.
Yeah, no, we got to bring him back. I don't. Once Ash is gone, I have to accept that I'm old, and I don't want to do that. But we also saw a lot of other great cosplays actually throughout the weekend as well. Shout out to everybody in the crowd who was cosplaying like we just saw a second ago. I see a Mets fan who is suffering with us.
Shout
we see you.
Mets.
Let's go, Mets.
My boys.
Yeah, home run. Let's go.
That's a nice jacket, too. I'm not
actually is a nice jacket.
That is a very nice jacket.
I'm going to need to talk to you after to find out where you got that.
Find me after this. Now, honestly, coming to PAX, I just get inspired. Like, I walk around the venue and I go, man, I really want to cosplay now. Like, it's the #1 thing that I get when I go to PAX is I'm like, why haven't I been doing this with all my time? Because some of these people are just so incredibly talented. You're going to get to see some of them.
Yes. Anytime I see somebody show up in one of those, like, giant mech suits.
Oh, my God.
You are awesome, okay? And the fact that most of those are also made at home is incredible. But speaking of people who are awesome, we have the beginning of top 8. We're in the loser side of it, so every match from this point forward, if you lose the set, you are out. Pelka said something yesterday leading up to today. He feels like he didn't play defensive enough. He's going to be camping everyone. That is not something that's the easiest thing to do against Ling, because Ling is also really good at playing on defense. But this is going to be Peach versus Snake. Usually Peach can go ahead and just float around everywhere, get a lot of damage on. You already know how that's going to work. But you have a lot of experience in seeing this matchup as well. From a different perspective, I see these two all the time. How do you think it's going to go down with Pelka trying to stop Ling from being able to set up that float game and get those big combos?
It's honestly going to be a lot of fun to watch because of what you were talking about, that Pelka said, oh, I'm not playing defensive enough, and then going up against somebody like Ling where you kind of have to be at least a little bit proactive as Snake in this matchup. You really have to be... What's up, AJ?
Come on, I want that Umbreon hat.
That is a really nice hat.
Pelka, I'm talking to you later. I want that hat.
I got money in my wallet.
I want it now. Also, I just realized why the MBT banner was up before. The sponsor for Pelka. So it's not. I love to see it, to be honest, because from my region, getting to see all these players start to get their opportunities to go out there and compete. But now defending their home turf here, Pelka right here from Massachusetts. So this is technically a home defense for him. Ling, right from the state of Connecticut, just outside that neighboring state. But going back to what you were saying before, we talked a little about the Peach approach. What does Snake do to deal?
Yeah, for Snake, you have to be at least a little bit proactive. I mean, you need to have your projectiles basically up at all times on stage, whether that's pulling grenades, whether that's tossing up an Akita to fall from the ceiling, or an up smash, a mortar to come down and help you out. You got to be moving just like this man right there. You got to be moving like him head.
Quite literally moving in and out, left and right. We're gonna see a lot of that from Ling, especially on ledge. And from looks of things, we're locked in. We are now beginning the top 8 portion, elimination side of the bracket, and everybody's favorite home, PS2, is going to be the beginning stage.
Yeah, so here we go. Top 8 kicking off right now. These two players are up and rolling. Ling with that Peach and Pelka with that Snake. We're going to have to see if he can actually use some of the aggression that can be a little bit difficult for Snake to use, because like you mentioned, Ling just so clean as a player. Peach is a character that beyond anything else rewards you for building up your fundamentals, right? She's got crazy good combos and all of that, but by far the best thing about her compared to any other character in this game is her ability to do what we call micro-spacing, right? Where you just take the tiniest bits of stage and make them your own so that you can maneuver around, for example, hails of projectiles that Snake is throwing at you. Ling doing a really good job of that right now.
Yeah, and these two have a lot of history with each other, so we're going to see what I like to refer to as roommate reads. They have been playing against each other for like 15 years at least, between Brawl up to this point. Different characters along the way, playstyle stay the same though. Something you're also going to see Pelka do at least once. He's going to make an attempt to do a forward air on an air dodge read against Ling. It happens every single time they play, and it almost always ends up leading to Pelka taking a game away while he's behind.
You know, we've seen some great comeback factor from him before in this tournament. Earlier, we saw him playing against Kiwi yesterday and had a great set where one of those games did end in a great comeback for him. But now we're seeing some great defensive play from him here, using these platforms really well to stay out of Ling's immediate burst range.
Yep.
Because Peach, she's really good at spacing in small increments, but she's not really good at using huge burst range to just suddenly get right up in your face and deal damage.
Yeah, normally her scramble option is that frame 2 jab. It's the way to kind of move people out, except you're looking at a frame 1 grenade. So that kind of gets checked. But we're going to finally see Ling close out one stock at the ledge. Do not be near turn up in hand, because that's one of the best ways for Peach to try and get those extended combos because of that frame 1 grenade.
Yeah, well, and Turnip is one of her only ways to really fight at a mid-range, right? Because she's such a brawler character, and hey, Snake is really good at brawling too. If you play Metal Gear Solid, you know about the CQC. That up tilt is about as strong as CQC goes. There's one of those forward airs you were talking about, leading to 54% real quick.
Yeah, right into that down air. Again, also, I have questions. That down air being frame 3 out of shield on a jump is so strong. It's a great way to also stop Peach from doing the same thing. Peach normally could just down air your shield, pressure you, fall down with an air, move away, jab, you got nothing. Except Snake doesn't let that happen. And we're seeing a lot of that come on as this match is incredibly even. And as I say that, gonna get caught by the C4. I think that was 83% before the hit.
Yeah, Peach is not a particularly light character. She's not particularly heavy either. She's a midweight, but she is very floaty, and that means that if she's up in the air, you have the ability to contest her. And again, look at Pelka just consistently racking on 50-60% at the start of each one of these stocks. Puts Peach immediately in the danger zone.
He's gonna keep going for it. It's a great option because Peach's air dodge is not really good. It actually lingers for a long period of time, but one thing that Ling is going to try to do is go down there and catch that Cypher. So now 92%. That's not a huge lead in the face of Peach, but you're also now you are at that up tilt percentage.
I love that you were talking about the roommate reads and everything, right? Because normally we think about this matchup being a little bit slower, right? We see slow, very methodical neutral. That game did not end slow at all. Pelka with that dash attack, catching Ling, trying to use some of that small bit of spacing to back up near the edge of the stage, but got caught holding left, bad DI directly towards the blast zone, and it's Pelka taking game 1.
Yeah, he tried to jump away from the ledge, float back, maybe land with an aggressive option to trip up Pelka, because Pelka had the ledge trap there, instead got caught. And even if he didn't get KO'd in that position, you saw Pelka reposition, toss the grenade up, had Nikita ready to go. You already got smacked away, so now you have to navigate around all of that. Most likely you're going to have to air dodge, and because of that, you already got hit out of float. You're most likely going to get knocked out anyways.
It is such a battle for Peach to get, any kind of semblance of her own game going. You really have to be able to get in and hit Snake first, but it's going to be a grind to get there. Game 2 is going to Town and City, so we do still see a pretty wide stage overall, but fewer platforms for Pelka to take control of, closer side blast zones, a very key part, really high top blast zones where you see Snake get a lot of those KOs, but it's really going to be those platform positions combinations that are going to be huge for Ling as he battles out of that corner.
I got so scared because if that second neutral air connected, he could have dropped off and forward aired right there if he felt like it. Or we could have went for an air dodge read. It could have been that moment. But instead, Ling puts him deep in the skies. He's at 107. Snake is heavy, so it takes a little bit to take out. However, he just got hit, so he's going to have to force to go low. And the Cypher is what saves him momentarily. Kimona.
Saving himself too by Z catching that Dot Eyes turn up, and then with the tech as well, able to make it back. Snake with an extra projectile in his hand. And watch out for that C4 too, because that timer is ticking down. After about, I think, 30 seconds, it will explode on its own. So Pelka, he will go ahead and detonate that. Even though Ling wasn't anywhere near it, he just wants to refresh that timer.
Yes, and also, now that we see that stock go away, just so everybody knows ahead of time, I give a natural RNG buff to special turnips being pulled, especially when Ling or Nuggets are on screen. So keep an eye out for Mr. Saturn, Stitch Facers, or something to show up potentially throughout the match.
Well, and in a matchup like this too, you can, in theory, actually kind of buff that RNG because Pelka can play slow, he can play at a distance, toss these grenades and explosives, but that's going to give Peach a lot of time to back up and farm for really good turnips.
Yep.
Pun not intended, but you really can find the tools that can change the game in an instant.
I mean, it's actually working exactly how you just broke it down as well. Ling is on 95% on his first stock, refusing to go anywhere near because why? Why should I go box with you right now? I'm up a stock. I'm going to control center. That's why we see the C4 in center now, and that's going to be a closeout off that up air to get this even. Only 24% on the board.
That is such a unique part of playing against Snake that no matter how long you do it, you never really get over it. That the game kind of flips on its head the moment that he has a grenade in his hand because it can still detonate even when Snake is shielding, because if you collide with that grenade hitbox, it will explode if you shield poke that grenade or whatnot. And that means you get put into hit stun while the Snake is basically at zero risk. He's just holding his shield, and that's how Pelka comboed into that stock. And now it's even.
Yeah, it's an incredibly close game right now. Only 25% difference doesn't mean much, as we see right there. It only takes 2 hits to get back into the game. They're being very careful about how they go in because everything is such an easy combo break option for Snake and for Peach. You have to find that big opener, but Pelka making sure that doesn't happen with these down airs and these grenades.
Well, and it was almost a big back air too to take that stock, but great DI from Ling saved him. But again, a little bit too aggressive on Pelka's shield. We were talking about how he said he wanted to revamp that defensive play. Great reaction to that forward air right there as well. He noticed exactly what Ling was going for with all that invincibility, saving his skin, and now he can hold on to this stock for a long time.
And I think that was from Pelka just remembering the previous interactions. He threw turnip up the previous times to get an air dodge forced early. He couldn't close it out on that air dodge last time, so Ling looking for a jump read to think he might be scared of that. Pelka said, no, I see through that all day, gets back down, and he's continuing to build up this lead that he refuses to give up on the second stock.
Playing good defense as Snake is the most paramount part of his gameplay, particularly if you're able to hold on to those stocks forever. If you watch the best Snake in the world, Apollo Kage, he is constantly living to just insane percents, and that's what Pelka's doing right now, 169, and he is still holding on. Gonna have to air dodge to the ledge. Ling missing that edge guard opportunity, but Pelka missing a B reverse grenade, somehow still holding on, but Ling says, nah, here's a neutral air, that's untechable, we're going to last
We
stop.
were getting real close to El Tec de Jesus, but that did not end up happening. You end up with that untechable situation with that red blast zone spike, as people could see on the screen, and now 94%. One combo can usually get things started, but you see that grenade constantly falling. It breaks up that big combo starter that Peach normally could just get there.
Ooh, Nikita, the longer that move stays out, the more damage it does. Ling able to live because of those tall Town and City blast zones. Nearly got carted off the stage by that platform. And at 149, we're reaching percents where Pelka can basically just walk up, grab, and end it.
It goes for a DI mix-up and tries to catch him with the forward throw. Won't be enough yet, especially on this blast zone, but Ling has to basically play perfect. You have to find one early edge guard play. What is that in his hand? Is that a normal one? Oh, it's a Stitch base. RNG, maybe? No, he throws it away. It's not going to end up working out, but Ling still holding on to this last stock.
Well, and not for long, though, because if he gets grabbed once, it's over. Snake has a guaranteed confirm out of the down throw into the up tilt that will end the stock for certain. Ling barely hanging on at 194. He has got to get a big combo to bring this one back, and Pelka playing grounded because he knows he just needs that grab grenade. Not going to do it off the top yet. 205 for Ling.
Like you said, because of that, it becomes a mini game of will I get hit or not, but every single time this dash attack is not the hitbox he needs, and Ling might eventually just get knocked out by one of these grenades by itself, but the dash attack finally finding the hit that he needed for that. Pelka is going to move up 2-0 in the set.
2-0 is such a big lead, too, because especially when you're playing the character that is frustrated isolating the opponent, right? Ling is the one that has to make the action happen. He's the one that needs to expend his brain power to get the win, right? Whereas Pelka, not saying that Snake is brainless, but you do have your own flowchart that the Peach is going to have to fight through first before things are on even ground. Being up 2-0 is such a massive advantage in that standpoint.
Exactly. Can you navigate the mini game that I have created for you to get to me? It's actually incredibly difficult to do as a character who primarily operates in the air. And no, you can't air dodge or take a defensive option out of float. Once you do that, you're committed and you're dropping. So you have to be very careful about how you open up. That's why we see a lot of turnip pulls from Ling. But as the game progresses towards the end, it hasn't been enough to finish the job. Once Snake is in that last spot, you see Ling, also showing off the sponsor as well. It's I believe Lavender Esports. So Ling taking a sip of water, trying to relax, trying to stay calm, and see if he can get the job done here.
Well, he's going to have to make it happen in reverse 3-0 fashion, but you can't be thinking about that at the start of game 3. You just have to take things one game at a time. You have to focus on precisely what's ahead of you. You can't even focus on taking game 1. You just have to focus on what the Snake is doing and how to deconstruct that. And we know that Ling is capable of it, but again, this is a big deficit to be fighting back from.
Yes, this is the worst position you want to be in a match. However, this is where champions are also made, Kimono. Once you have that start of the reverse 3-0, the panic starts to settle in. Can it happen? Can it be Ling to bring it back? Currently, though, Pelka has been able to be much more calm and close it out on those last stocks.
Well, mental game is going to be really important here. As game 1, we saw it. It was really kind of an even way for each of these two to play, but I particularly want to point to game 1 because we were on Pokemon Stadium 2. Kind of a bigger version of Small Battlefield of what you're seeing right here. But Pelka really made his money on being great at being hard to catch on those platforms and having great control of them, and Ling couldn't get anything big started up there. I'm wondering if that's going to be the same case here in game 3.
Yeah, we'll see if it plays out. Again, like you said with that PS2 comparison, this one's slightly smaller, so it's going to be a little bit easier to close the gaps and also force ledge traps, which I think is the win condition fighting up against Snake. You need to keep Pelka on ledge as often as you can. If you can pressure him on platforms, that's only going to come from Pelka getting afraid, because if he sees platform pressures coming, Grenade's going to come out.
Well, there's that down air out of shield, too, again, that you talked about, right? It's frame 6, which is a 1/10 of a second, right? It comes out so quickly. It's one of the fastest moves you can get in that aspect, and Pelka making great use of it with Ling. Having a couple of unsafe approaches on shield, because, again, you got to take risks as Peach in this matchup.
Yeah, you have to. And that's also the scare the Peach player from being able to just kind of pressure you for free, and Pelka's showing he has no fear on that. We're approaching that window where the down throw could be to a read. Good DI up to the top, reading that he went to the right-hand side. Pelka's going to live longer. he was hiding behind the name
behind the layout, yeah. That's one of the things that Snakes love to do, too, is they go so high. As Pelka gets saved by his grenade, the knockback from that back air from Peach would have been enough. The grenade actually saved Pelka because it had less, redirected him, but another up air from Ling, making really good use of that. And one of the things that he actually hasn't been able to do very well in this set at all, Pelka actually took advantage of Town and City in this, that Snake is usually really easy to juggle. That's one of the places where you can really take advantage of the poorer aspects of the character, as Pelka does even this back up 2 stocks apiece, but Ling finally putting on some aggression. That's why he's playing with that lead.
Yeah, bad disadvantage in heavy quotations. Depending on if they're really good at wave bouncing around with the grenades or using Nikita in the air to mix up their landing, but once you see they committed to Cypher, you just need to read where they go, and that, like you said, that's normally why where you find a lot of KOs against Snake. But that high blast on before was helping. This time, not as much. And Ling playing around, he's actually keeping Pelka stuck on those platforms, getting a lot of straight damage because of it.
And that's such a great reversal, right? Because we were talking about in that game 1 how Pelka was sticking to those platforms, and it was making it really hard for Ling to do anything to him. But now Ling is finding ways to punish Pelka, and it's particularly for that movement between those platforms, knowing where he's going to end up. And again, I mean, he was really right on the movement there, but Pelka really smartly burning that air dodge quickly to get back down to the ground.
Yeah, sometimes you can get that frame trap if you fall down with them in that spot, but that did not happen. Now, this is a great time to usually try and pressure. Turn up in hand is actually not a great item toss for Pelka if he's on a platform. He's on the ground, you get dash attack. But Ling, keeping it going, gets the soft hit of that back air. Not going to be enough yet. Kimono going to drop underneath. Forces the air dodge. He actually saved him. I am a liar. That's a true combo at that spot. And he ends up taking out the second stock.
That was not on purpose by Ling. That was not all a master plan to get that up B into back air. But kudos to him for reacting to that, seeing that up B hit, and then knowing I can get this back there for free afterwards.
You better react to those positions. Knowing that that's the follow-up after is very key, but the fact that that's not what he planned for in the first place to try to get that stage spike, we take those every day of the week, but this is now an up tilt window for any, pretty much any position. And jamming up to keep him in the mortar, that was actually really good to guarantee he would get hit by that up smash.
He stunned him there. Ling was standing in the corner and just got hit in the face. What? And looks up, and then he just a Wile E. Coyote.
I say, look, the jabs are all about just kind of getting you thrown off, and then the haymaker is what comes in, and that's pretty much what the up smash was in that position. Now, damage is going to be very fearful. Remember what we said earlier. Pelka will hunt for that forward air, and it might happen here in this match.
That would be a huge way to make the comeback and, seal out a 3-0 over Ling, who is definitely one of the favorites to make it super deep in the tournament. Air dodge, they are going to bring him back. Cypher really dangerous in that position because Ling can get a big setup, but Pelka got him up to 74%. You got to start looking up for C4 being a way to end this game for Pelka, and that's why you see Ling just going to the opposite side of the stage immediately.
Yeah, Ling trying to force this to a game. Number 4 going to turn a toss up to see if he can get him to press a button. He put out the grenades to make sure that if he attempted it up air, he would be safe. Winky Face with a slightly increased knockback, getting a drop all the way underneath. Does he get the neutral air? That won't be enough as we see Ling force it to a game number 4.
And Pelka, again, just in that disadvantage, that was the place where he got eaten alive in that game 3, and Ling was on top of that. I mean, the punish game was crazy, both on the parts that he set up and on what Pelka was giving him. And there were a lot of those situations where I think Pelka just kind of burned more resources than he realized he had, and then was left with that slow up B. You need to have a double jump and then Cypher immediately during that upwards momentum to just shoot yourself up for a great recovery with Snake, because if you don't have your double jump, you're going to go up really slow, and that neutral air that you saw from Ling is free.
Exactly. The Giga Brain activity needs to be activated when you're playing and against these two characters. And it's not even just that Snake can struggle to land, Peach can too, but that game was so much better for Ling in that aspect. He was up there, he challenged him every time, he made him feel uncomfortable, which you need. Now, because of that, I get the feeling we're not going to see much of Small Battlefield. That gave him a much better closed gap to force him to have to fight. We're going to see what that turns out to be. I missed the stage pick. We're going to find out right now. We're going to get back to PS2.
Yeah, Pokemon Stadium 2, where, I mean, we saw Pelka was really, really comfortable in that game 1. And on Town and City as well, right, being a wide stage, it's definitely what Pelka wants, and I think it is particularly for that disadvantage, because on both of these stages, you have more options for places to drift. You have more distance that you can make to get away from the Peach, but I think that the really, really important part is that on a place like Small Battlefield, Ling nearly gets that stock.
Yeah, Ling is making him press buttons exactly where he wants him every single time, dropping all the way underneath and gets the tech underneath the stage, so he gets to live for a little bit longer, but Ling got 142 essentially just off of trade scenarios that he won every time.
He just racks it on so quickly, and normally you don't want to trade with Snake, but Ling has been doing such a good job of not hitting those grenades and even waiting for them to detonate, right? Knowing, okay, now is my time to get in. And it's kind of like you were saying, this has been both for the neutral game and in the disadvantage. Man, Ling has been doing such a good job of forcing Pelka to burn resources that he needs to be able to have the malleable game plan that makes Snake so strong.
That was so smart by Ling, too, to just sneak in that little bit of the hit the umbrella. It doesn't matter much, as long as it pushes him away. But Pelka hasn't been knocked out yet. Every attempt from Ling off stage, that stack will finally do it. But he got 84% out of that beforehand because he was taking a lot of damage and Ling was not getting checked for it.
I like that down air on shield, too. Again, Peach has that ability to just be really ambiguous as to where she's going to be and put herself exactly where she wants to be. And that downer put her outside of that grenade range. Didn't have to risk crossing up Pelka either and catching a back air to the face. So again, really, really intelligent play, understanding the matchup really well, and Pelka's kind of struggling to get anything going here.
We'll see if he can get that right now. All you need is that one up tilt. He's actually not just minimized the damage, he's taking no damage. He's refused to get caught on the second stock. A lot of that, to be honest, came from the fact that he just kept swinging at a disadvantage in that last stock. Now he's just playing the ground game Komodo, which is very smart. He's not letting Ling try and win out in the air. He realized where things were going wrong.
Yeah, no, that is exactly where Ling was taking advantage in that game 3. And at the start of this one, where Pelka was kind of married to that idea of, okay, get platform control. How does Ling get anything started? But then he realized, okay, I'm burning all my resources. I could be in trouble. And nearly was there off stage again, but Ling wasn't able to close it out, so Pelka still has a chance to fight it out on this second stock. And again, if he can stick to the ground, he might be able to open up something big.
Yeah, and you see Ling keeps making that attempt at that umbrella backer off the stage, because that is a true combo as long as you connect it. It's a very active move, but Pelka's air dodge has been on point. He's going to get back down here for stage control, though. Ling probably going to turn up toss high to get him the air dodge early. No! Instead, he baits him out, tries to go for a back air, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, the trades, again, I mean, Peach is so good in those trade scenarios, and normally she doesn't get to against Snake because he's a heavy character. Snake will be able to live longer than you if you trade every single stock, but when you're ahead, you can just throw out those hitboxes because there's not a whole lot that Snake can do if he is still fighting from a deficit. Pelka will get that stock with the up tilt, but he is a full one behind.
Yes, this is exactly how their sets go pretty much every single time. It always goes down to the wire. Pelka can make an attempt at a really big play pretty soon, but Ling smartly saying, look, I'd rather take the hit on stage than you make an attempt at a read. So he just jumps past that, gets on, gets his grab kimono, and that was good. He just waited it out, covers, and that's great option coverage because for your shield, nothing bad happens. You spot dodge, you get a combo.
I mean, lots of Peach players right there would just toss out that back air and just cash in for the guaranteed damage, but Ling waited to see if Pelka would choose a defensive option so that he could set up for something juicy like that down air to get more damage afterwards. Really, really smart play, and a very confident play too, especially when if you lose this game, you're out.
Yes, this is elimination. It is best of 5, and Ling has only one potential loss left in him. Pelka currently behind a stock. He's trying to make this happen, but Snake is incredibly strong on last stock scenarios. So the last thing you want is to get to that point. Ling might be able to close it out here. That's a nair. Does he chase him out there? He can't afford to do so, and now he gets back on stage.
That was a good early air dodge by Pelka because most people would expect the Snake to go to the ledge. That's exactly what Ling was looking for. He saw that nair get tossed out there, so he wasn't able to catch Pelka going high. It's basically a 50-50. The Pelka won out on that. That's why he's still in this one. And like you said, Ajax, he is such a good last stock character.
It is not a comfortable time being in this position because even looking at that 0 to 99, one good neutral air, one good combo from Snake, and all of a sudden you're at KO percentages, but Ling getting a big anti-air up smash won't be enough. Does he get this up air in the skies? No, smart on Pelka to drift to the right and get away from that.
This is why that big stage and having grenades to pull are really important because that allows you to use a B reverse to change your momentum, go to the other side, and not get caught out by the Peach, but you're gonna get caught out by that forward air, smacked him right in the back of the head and sent him into game 5.
This is exactly how you want to see the top 8 contenders battle it out. These two have so much history against each other. It has been, like I said, like 15, 16 years these two have been battling it out among Smash titles, and here on the biggest stage, up at PAX East, fighting it out to try and get a greater prize pool. You could not have asked for better as we move into game number 5.
It's high stakes, right? And it doesn't get higher stakes than game 5 within the top 8. And, you know, honestly, it would be telling if it didn't go to game 5 between these two because like you said, they have so much history. You know, they're pretty close in terms of skill level. When we go to game 5, it tells us that they're both playing at their best because if it didn't go that way, then we might be kind of asking ourselves, okay, well, what if? What if somebody was kind of playing a little bit better or a little bit worse today? But no, these two are giving it all they've got. And that's why we're here.
Yes, I mean, even if you look at the incredibly chaotic event that was Collision just recently, with everybody who fell, with Leo, Light, and company going down at 9th, you know who was at 13th amongst that company, right? Only losing to Shiny Mark? Ling. Ling was right up there. He's in all of last season. He was right there in that category of just outside of top 8. Here he is in that top 8, fighting to keep that bracket run alive. Pelka, though, on game 5, make those adaptations to keep himself in the set.
And he has chosen to go back to small battlefield, which is the place where Ling's momentum really started. But I think with the way that their play styles have changed over the course of this set, maybe he's thinking that, okay, now I want to change it up to be a little bit more aggressive or something like that. See Ling just floating right
jukes,
on
bro.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, jukes for real.
I think you're very right on that, too, because before, Ling couldn't open up Pelka on PS2. Then after here, he got really aggressive, and I think Pelka didn't like how defensive Ling was on the last game. He couldn't catch him. Like, he just couldn't catch him at all because there was too much room to work with. So now, cut the gap down. C4 is going to be more viable, and it's going to be a lot easier to line up Ling making a mistake.
And getting the lead is going to be so important because then when you play with the lead, to what you were saying, you can wait for your opponent to make a mistake rather than having to try to run up and take risks to force them out of your opponent. But it's going to be a big question as to who gets that lead right now because Snake may be at the much higher percent, but he is also a much heavier character, so these percents might as well be even.
100%, and this is an all-star matchup we're seeing right now. Both of them being very careful about going for that first stock opening as we pass that 6-minute mark. Ling smartly, too, waiting for the preemptive option after because he didn't have a guaranteed back air there. He knew he might get aggressive. He's going to get to tech, though. He's going to turn the toss over. No, he's got to hide underneath. He's got to go for a C4 jump, and the C4 is a little bit too much. That's going to lead to the first stock.
That was just great coverage there by Ling because he knew that Pelka was at a high enough percent that if he had to go for that C4 recovery, which you know, effectively give Snake an infinite recovery, but once he gets to a high enough percent, he will just blast zone himself with it. So Ling realized, okay, as long as he can't make it to the ledge with up B and air dodge, I've got this stock. And now he's playing with a pretty big lead.
Yeah, 71% and almost, and now is going to lap him momentarily. There it is. Tries to go for a jump read, drops underneath, goes for that nair. Once again, Kimona, if he reads the air dodge, and he's going to read it this time on that high recovery.
Because the last time, yeah, Pelka did that exact same high air dodge instead of going to the ledge, and Ling said, you're not going to fool me twice. You're not going to fool me thrice either. This is a quick game here in this game 5 with Ling getting a 3-stock to 1 lead.
The reverse 3-0 is on the table. It's looking like it might happen, but Pelka not going to get the stock right there either. Remember, Snake, very good in these late hit situations, can apply a lot of stress and also has some really early KO options himself if Ling overextends.
You talk about stress, though. I mean, it looks like Pelka is the one under stress, whereas Ling has just been playing this game 5, basically virtually perfectly. In these last 3 games, just hasn't made that many big mistakes, and he's been getting big follow-ups, too. And Pelka really just struggling to bite into this first stock. Forward throw is not going to be enough to do it, but you do get a setup for a Nikita. But Peach has so many maneuvering tools that she can just get back.
One of the few characters that could basically look at that and kind of drift around, minimizing the damage on the last stock, but still took 45. Ling was very evasive on the entire ledge trap. That's not good. You need that ledge trap to work for Snake against Peach because you need her to not feel comfortable getting off a ledge. That's where a lot of that straight hit damage and, of course, finding that float to get an early KO.
No, wait a second. You told us he would go for it.
It was going to happen. No matter what, it was going to happen at some point, but because of that history, Ling smartly going high that time.
And that would have been the game changer, too. The moment that Ling got back thrown, he knew Pelka's going to go for a forward air because that is the only way back into this game. He needs a big stock like that, and if this gets down to 1 stock apiece, Pelka's going to go for it again.
100%. You have to play to your win condition, and the win condition right now is to get a spike onto Peach soon, or now we're working our way towards that up tilt, and he's looking for it right now. Ling has to be very careful while he lands. The C4 is right there.
I like the aggressive landing from Ling, though, because he knows that Pelka's going to wait for him to choose something that will open up that up tilt, because just like that, it can leave Snake in so much end lag, and Peach can really follow up on that, and Pelka's sitting at 102% on his last stock. Oh. These are the percents where Ling can start getting his follow-ups.
That up tilt might actually lean heavy. Oh, we did get one. 121 got chin checked. Now, last stock scenario.
Game 5.
Game 5. This is still very much doable for Pelka, so Ling has to be very careful about not getting sent off stage early. This is a big opportunity for him to try and close it out now.
He's always going to toss up that turn up to try to catch the landing. Pelka back on stage, down tilt, didn't open up anything big. Ling going to wait for that grenade to detonate, does put on quite a bit of damage to Pelka, who's now in danger of dying to a couple of throws as well. He's trying to hang out under that platform, but back air from Ling, going to take it. Caught the movement to center. A little mini pop off there from Ling as well, pulling off a reverse 3-0 to stay alive in the bracket.
That is 100% pop-off worthy, and I cannot tell you enough. There's a reason why I mentioned that forward air before. There are so many matches in the history of the New England region where Ling was up in the set and Pelka snatched it away with that forward air setup. Ling smartly remembering that. You said it. That would have changed the entire focus of the game. You get hit at that point, even if you have the lead, you're not playing afraid. But Ling's well worth pop-off as he continues this run in PAX Arena.
Now we can check out some of the DoorDash replays to see the evolution of this set, because again, when 2 players who know each other so well play a best-of-5 set, you're going to see evolution between them. You're going to see the gameplay change. You're going to see them adapt. And, you know, at the start, Pelka was just so strong. It was so hard for Ling to get anything started, but slowly he found ways to play with the lead, really batten down the hatches on his patience, and was able to close out some really important stocks.
And this is just so important to have. Like, you go out of this W here, the people you are waiting for on the other side of the winners semis bracket are all of some of the best you've ever seen. It's Dabuz, Sharp, Cosmos, and Jackal. Like, how are you going to get around that when you have to play against them in the losers quarters? We'll find out after, but we did get a determination on who is the other match in losers top 8.
I'm excited to see that. It's going to be Unleashed and Nuggets, so we're going to get some more Peach action. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Oh, sorry, Daisy.
Yeah, common Daisy and Joyer. We got to make sure we specify that.
In case you all at home don't know, Peach and Daisy play the exact same in this game, so it's just an aesthetic
but
difference.
If you say the wrong main, you will hear about it later, so we should make sure we get out of it now.
I'll plug my ears. I don't care. They're the same, Peach and Daisy, but at least it is nice that, you know, between Ling and Nuggets, they do play either side of the same coin, because Ling's always rocking that blue Peach, and Nuggets, I mean, you know, Daisy's got some of the good costumes. I can't pick one.
Yeah, and honestly, it's going to be fun watching the differences. Both of them are from this region. You see Ling coming up here from Connecticut, but Nuggets right here from Massachusetts. One of the strongest players that Massachusetts has available to them, going up against somebody he has a lot of history against too, Unleashed. Something we've been realizing of late though, Sora actually does very well against both Peach and Daisy. The float game gets shut down by that neutral air, and so many of the combos Peach would like to go for, very hard to challenge. Something we did learn recently though, Sonic Blade has to go sideways first every time. They did not realize that. That's going to line up better punishes and ledge traps with turnip tosses to try and get Sora, because it's really hard to hit Sora ever when they're recovering.
Recovery mix-ups are going to be important, and I'm very excited once that match gets started, but we are also here at a whole PAX event. We are here at PAX East in the PAX Arena in the midst of the Almost Pro 10K Open. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to see all of you
the entire Mushroom
in the
Kingdom
venue
right in front of us.
Yeah, it is packed here, and man, I mean, just so many different ways to enjoy the event, man.
Yeah, honestly, this is just a celebration of gaming. That's really the best way to put it. Everything you want to find. There's so many booths. There's so many great events that you could check out throughout the day. Tomorrow, we're going to be having the Mario Kart Deluxe Championships, which does include DLC Pass 2. I was asking Bear, who will be on commentary for that. I did not realize that was actually going to be available tomorrow, so I'm super excited to watch that. And then, of course, the ever intense Splatoon 3 championships also play out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be a really fun thing to watch. I mean, you're kind of getting the whole grand tour of, you know, the competitive Nintendo games. That you got Smash today, you got MK and Splatoon tomorrow, and you know that there are tons of people around the world that are just so good at these games, and you don't really get the chance to experience just how good those players are until you watch them in action. And we're getting to see all of these players in action at PAX Arena, presented by DoorDash. As we take a look at the bracket, this is your top 8. We just saw Ling and Pelka play an incredible Game 5 set. I thought that said Ted. It says TBD, and I was about to be like, dang, who's Ted? But that is waiting on, I believe, the conclusion of the Cosmos and Jackal set in Winterside, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, yes. They will have to play against the loser of that, which is not going to be a fun time at all. But we were alluding into a little while ago, Unleashed and Nuggets will also have to go up against each other. That's going to be Sora and Daisy, and the loser of that will have to go against another familiar face, potentially, with Sharp or Dabuz. Sharp actually being one of the few people who has a character spread that can kind of challenge Dabuz's character spread. Not very often you see that.
Yeah, no, Dabuz is known for being one of the very few top-level competitors that can play 3 or more characters at the top. Who's missing out there? I don't know who that is. I have not seen them.
I'm afraid not.
I'm sorry to tell you, I have not seen them.
I cannot help.
My bad. My bad, but I have seen some great gameplay today. And, you know, like I was talking about, right, and you were saying it, Dabuz versus Sharp is going to be a lot of fun to watch because that could just be a counterpick war. Back and forth, right? Sharp plays at least 6 or 7 characters. I know Dabuz has at least 3 that are tournament ready, possibly.
Oh, wait, I just saw Snorlax.
Shout out Snorlax.
Where did Snorlax go? Snorlax, get in the camera. I saw you over there. Where did you go?
I'm going to pretend that's a Kamala, which is basically just like small Snorlax.
You know, actually, yeah, this will be the trade-off we get. But still,
They're
incredible.
both sleepy boys.
This is very true. It's very true. Oh, hey, there you go. You recognize that camera. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah.
Again, this is an incredible top 8 day. And now
get out of the way.
This is the true star of the show right there.
This is the one we want to see. Yes, sir.
Oh, the Kirby. Oh, we met it up with the Kirby.
Screen time, Kirby. You had your screen time on Thursday.
But still, it's an incredible time here at the PAX Arena as we're going to get ready for that other side of this top 8. Kimono, I mean, this is my first time actually being able to experience PAX. I always had to work. It was always just driving me crazy having to watch from home. So being able to be here, call the action, but also get to experience all of the event, it's second to none. Please, at any point in time, if you can, go to PAX West, go to PAX East. You're going to become addicted to coming out to the conventions. It is just a phenomenal time.
Yeah, you're always going to find something new when you go to the conventions. Like the first time you go, you're going to be like, wow, there's so many like games on display. So many publishers here showing off like, you know, the new games or even some of the old ones, giving you the chance to play them. And then the next time you go, man, there's so many cosplays. You get so inspired. And the third time you come, they're like, well, they got a whole board game section where you can just go rent out board games, sit down with your friends and try out some new stuff. Like PAX is just the biggest celebration of gaming that you can go to, and it really doesn't matter who you are. You know, they pride themselves on being a very inclusive event. You're going to find a place here where you're going to fit in and you're going to have fun.
100%. And don't let the hat fool you. You may say Sonic Universe, but it is the Sora Universe indeed. There's Nuggets right there getting ready to play with the Daisy here in top 8. There is Unleashed, and we have our other half of Losers Top 8 starting now. Daisy versus Sora.
Yeah, but first of all, I still need to talk about how crazy it is that Sora's in this game.
That is still wild.
We've been asking for Banjo forever. We've been asking for Sora forever. They're both here. How can that happen?
Thank you, Sakurai. Also, everybody in the crowd, this is a tradition at this point. If I don't hear it, I'm gonna be upset. Every single spell must be yelled by Sora. I want to hear fire, freeze, and thunder anytime it goes off.
Fire,
already messing up.
I can't believe you've done this.
I put him on the spot. They weren't ready
for the whole bit, but yeah, no, keep it going out there in the crowd. Get hyped for it because that is what you're going to see a lot of in this matchup too. You're going to see a ton of these spells in these different situations. The Thunder is amazing for these edge guards. The Blizzard is so good for just kind of keeping you out, and also in those ledge trap scenarios, Thunder, you're going to be able to see it stop you from just picking any old option off the ledge, and the Fire is a really good combo tool.
Exactly, and again, anything that's anti-float is going to work, and going to get a little bit away from that Nair into the up smash. That's normally a pretty easy combo to land. You also have down tilt up smash a certain percentage too, which you might still have, but tries to go for the punish off shield, not going to land.
Nugget said, hey, I'm a sword character too. Catch this golf club. I promise. Thunder!
Freeze is incoming. Freeze, actually decided not to do it. So one of the best options at ledge, funny enough, is to do that jump, wave bounce, freeze, to then combo off of it as they jump from ledge. It covers multiple options well, and it covers neutral get up because it's very active.
And you got to remember, I mean, you get hit by just a little particle of that spell, and you will be frozen, and that's going to give Sora a chance to really set up his stage controller, potentially even a combo if you bust out of it. But hey, we're a minute and a half into this first game. First stock yet to be taken. Great catch right there with that Nair, and the Thunder are going to help Unleash get back to the ledge, but Nuggets still hunting for this setup. Turnip going to set up for a tech chase, and great follow-up right there with the dash attack, reading that roll out.
And the dash attack answer right back as well, coming in from Unleashed. One of the things that Nuggets is so strong at is that his patience is very good. He does not really just kind of jump at any opportunity. He will always wait for the opportunity and see if you panic first to react to it after. But you mentioned before, any single one of those particles catching you is going to lead to a freeze and a free ledge trap.
I mean, the neutral game from Nuggets is just so impeccable, but you're going into a matchup where the hardest part about it is winning the neutral game, and it's going to be interesting to see how Nuggets tries to circumvent that, right? Whether that's going to either neutralize what Sora can do, or Sora's just going to neutralize what Nuggets can do.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, like, every single time as that operator closes it out, most of that damage came from Sora getting off a ledge. Sonic Blade on the third hit can cross back up, forced you back off stage. So you had stage control that disappeared, and that happened like 3 times that Nuggets was not able to answer.
We'll try to answer back right here with that Turnip into the grab, trying to read the roll on the platform, and pretty much did have it, but that last tip or hitbox of it is so precise that you have to be literally right under your opponent. Some would argue that he actually was, but not close enough to get that hit. So we are still sitting on 2 stocks for Unleashed, who is just sticking to that Pokeball, getting stage control and forcing Nuggets to come to him.
Unleashed definitely falls under the radar for a lot of people throughout this game on where is the Sora representation. It's right here. This is one of the best at it, but forward throw is going to be the play. You don't want to stale back throw right now because you want to be able to potentially get it right here, but smartly knowing, just whiffed it, not going to make a second attempt at it because that would have been a free punish with that down smash.
Yeah, the down smash is just virtually unpunishable if it hits your shield. You have to be such a particular kind of character to be able to punish that, and you know, Daisy's just not one of them. We're going to see no throw right here. Too many pummels, maybe looking for a back throw to be able to KO, but from center stage on PS2, which is so big, not going to be able to find it. And here we go, Nuggets again trying to bust past that platform and find some way to open up Unleashed here. Dash attack, not going to be enough without any rage.
Wow, yeah, even with all of that, yeah, don't go anywhere near that either. That counter on the reflect is incredibly powerful. The backer will finally do it. This is one Daisy combo away from an even game.
We got to see if Nuggets has those, though, and particularly on
Definitely
a
does.
floaty character, it's going to be tough. Does get 31 right here, a couple of backers for his time, and has the Sora in the corner with a Turnip in hand. You can see how much pressure that puts on. Nuggets just sticking to Unleashed like glue right now, knocked away by the Sonic Blade, but this game is much closer than it was earlier.
Yeah, speaking of that pressure, deciding to double up on the downer on shield like you're just talking about instead of going for just one. However, the Thunder's going to have to force Nuggets away. The half tilt could lead to an early KO, and trying to line up a grab Kimono doesn't get it, but you can see Unleashed playing very well in this last stock. Not really fearful of that disadvantage.
The Dragon hit from the up smash traded with that aerial from Unleashed, which really bailed out Unleashed because that definitely would have been the end of the stock. And now trying to pressure Unleashed shield. With both of these players sitting at their KO percents, but down tilt leading into the up air just at the very tip of it. Unleashed able to find his follow-up and take that game one.
That combo option is always available. If you get the miss tech on a platform, you can get an up smash. If you get certain percentages, some people, you can get up smash as well. But on characters that especially float easy, like Daisy, it's going to be way more consistent to find that down tilt into the up air, and that's exactly how he was able to finish it up.
Can I point out, by the way, you said that the hat on Unleashed says Sonic Unleashed. It does not say anything about his character, but I do have to say, one of the most underrated Sonic games in the entire franchise. If you haven't played Sonic Unleashed, you got to give that thing a try because it's a really good game.
Honestly, it's actually pretty fun.
It is good. The day levels especially. Some of the best designed Sonic levels in the entire franchise.
Yes, also Sonic Adventure 2 Battle King.
Okay, well,
yeah, Buzz Lightyear meme.
Underrated.
Buzz Lightyear meme.
Pizza? That's what you just did right there.
I still had to say, look, where is the Chow Garden mobile game? Okay, that's all I need to know. All right, we got game.
It's free money. Come on.
Hey, I will. You have my wallet. Okay, but game number 2 here. We're switching over to Small Battlefield. What's your opinion on Nuggets deciding to go here away from that PS2 pick?
I think honestly, this is definitely the right choice because unless you have a turnip in hand, you can't play at a longer range the way that Sora can, and particularly Sora's got burst movement, and like you've mentioned before, he's able to actually shut down float, which is one of the most important part of Daisy's game plan, right? But here in Small Battlefield, it's going to be less about utilizing that float. I mean, you're going to see it, but you don't have to float at that mid-platform height as much to try to get stage control. Now you can actually play a little bit grounded and try to catch the Sora trying to start up his setups on a smaller stage.
Yeah, and this is that happy middle ground of not wanting to fight Sora on Smashville. It's not a great idea. Sora has a lot of really easy combo resets there, but you do get a smaller gap, so you could find those ledge traps a little easier. Ooh. That's if you can get away from the Thunder in the first place, and Unleash once again striking first.
I mean, look, I'm from Texas, and that looked a little bit all too familiar to me. The Supercell rolls in, and then you're gone. Power outage.
Oh, no. And Tornado is, I mean, Unleashed does feel like one at some point. Just rolls right through. He's very difficult to shut down as well. And he's always played a pretty interesting spread of characters. Prior to this was playing Banjo, and was one of the few people that I saw that actually made me think the character worked. But Nuggets has been playing Daisy and Peach for a very long time. It is not something you can sleep on. We just saw a reverse 3-0 a little while ago from one on that stage.
I like challenging that Sonic Blade right there, the side B from Unleashed, because we've noticed that pretty much every time Unleashed has actually gone for sort of the full side B. And right there, Nuggets doing a really good job now of spacing outside of where those hitboxes end and actually being able to hit back because they're big hitboxes, but he is now positioning really well around it.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did he get hit by Sonic Blade in that last game? And I pretty much gave away his ledge traps over and over. It seems like Nuggets is starting to get some answers. This is the first time in a little while we've seen him hold a % lead. That forward smash has something to say about that, though.
And that was Unleashed looking for a hit confirm out of the neutral air into that forward smash. Nuggets shielded that forward air, but then dropped the shield as the forward smash came in. So you have to be really respectful of, again, the fact that Unleashed is going to keep going for those. There again, though, spacing outside of the Sonic Blade. It's not becoming a very easy tool for Unleashed to use. And you see now mixing his way up off that ledge, not using the Sonic Blade as much, instead going for the spells.
Yeah, smart about that, too. Oh, he's going to fall out of the last hit of Thunder. He's still going to get caught by Sonic Blade, so that's going to keep him from getting punished as he lands from that up B. But a good out-of-shield option from Nuggets might be able to take it, but back throw won't be enough yet for the Sora.
I thought it might be enough. It's a strong move. There's that down air, and Unleashed will force an untechable situation. Nuggets just not reacting to that burst movement in time. I love the use of the counter right there to neutralize the turnips, because otherwise that'll happen. What a snipe. Nuggets is all over these Sonic Blades.
As soon as he saw the jumps were gone, it doesn't matter if you got Sonic Bladed up B. As long as I catch at least one of those Sonic Blades, that's going to be it. And
you were talking about that at the start of the match, too, that we've just kind of recently realized, hey, you can only go to the side first. Obviously, all the Sora players knew that, but for the rest of us, you know, who don't play the character as much, only now learning that, Nuggets is like, well, cool, I just need to put a turnip here, you can't make it back.
Exactly. You do not have to worry about a cross-up of positioning, but that one does once again do it. Now you're stuck at ledge. Now you're viable for a counter KO as well if he ever feels like it. He just did downer to you, so you might be scared of it. Mix up your timing to recover early, and then he drops off. Woo! There is the attempt right there. He just made the attempt. Luckily for Nuggets, he was able to get around it.
And he's just eating these side Bs alive. I mean, we haven't seen Unleashed get away with one outside of where he's already hit Nuggets and has him in disadvantage in a very, very long time. And again, you see him going for those mix-ups to the ledge because those are the only ways that he's been able to stay safe for now. Nuggets smashing out of that ice. this is a last stock game.
Yeah, once again, I mean, this is pretty much how they're all going to go. That forward air is going to be enough. Yes, it is. That's going to put Nuggets on the board 1 apiece. We talked a little while ago about how the history of Ling and Pelka has been for like 15 some odd years. It may not be as long between these two, but this is one of the, anytime you look at a weekly in the state of Massachusetts, when you're looking at the top 2, you're pretty much seeing these names there.
Yeah. Unleashed and Nuggets are grinders, to say the least, right? They will go out to pretty much every tournament they have an opportunity to. And look, I mean, when they see a $10,000 prize pool, they're going to be there too for sure. But they're also there when there isn't a big prize pool. And that's why they're building up that consistency to be able to make it this far in the first place.
Exactly. You have to actually go. You have to practice to get good. That's crazy. Like a weird concept that some people don't understand. And you need to get out there. So for one, support your locals. 2, actually go and get good practice partners like this, because you're seeing these two are pushing each other to the maximum. There is, again, that roommate read play, if you will, because there's so much history. And now Nuggets adjusting heavily that game too. Even though it was kind of a struggle to deal with them at Ledge Game 1, it was not even close to the same thing as we followed up with that.
And it was just a matter of kind of adapting to what Unleashed was doing. I mean, yeah, we saw the stage counter pick. I don't even think that was as much of a big deal. Clearly, Unleashed doesn't think so either as we go back to small battlefield for Game 3. And I think it really was off the back of Nuggets really making some great adaptations to what Unleashed was doing to try to base his game plan around. And now Unleashed is going to have to try to adapt and mix all of that up as we get into the rubber game of this set.
100%, yeah. That's how the best players are built, making that adaptation. Now, from what we're seeing, Unleashed has decided to go a lot more aggressive. He's not playing around shield range. He's playing right in jump range. Said, please press a button. Try to do something. I'm going to overwhelm you. It worked for a little bit, but now the trades are starting to work in favor of the other party.
It's just so interesting to see this matchup where you assume that Sora is going to have all the control and what we saw in Game 1, but Nuggets has just been so patient. We talked about how good his neutral game is, and it looks like it's being such a boon that he's going, okay, well, I might be losing out in the character matchup, but if I can be patient enough, eventually Unleashed will erroneously come into my range that I control, and I can hit him back for it, just like we see right there.
Exactly. That sweet spot range, the happy zone of down tilt and nair, which is pretty much what he's at right now. If he gets a down tilt, probably leads to up air. The nairs, he's going to be looking for the nairs into the up air or up smash, but he did not get the second hit.
I like the use of the nair to kind of take away that turn up there on the ledge. Might see it again, this time catching it. And Unleashed can definitely make something happen off of that turn up. You know, it's such a great combo tool for Peach. Certainly it could be for Sora as well. Once again, a punish on the Sonic Blade. Nuggets missing that tech chase, but does pick it right back up at the grab. Looking for the big finisher, but can't. Unleashed back in the game.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to see if Unleashed would go for a panic option. And like we said before, you saw the look on his face. We all felt it too. That down smash jumping right over that punish. Somehow Daisy's down smash not hitting him either.
That's one of those moments where you just, it's such a big opportunity. You get what we call analysis paralysis, right? You just figure, okay, I've definitely got this. I can hit him with anything. And then you choose wrong, and then you try to fumble and pick it back up afterwards, and then before you know it, you're in the blast zone. And